Thursday, January 29th. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight we are addicted to the knife.
Let's do this. So I walk out the door this morning, right? And I close it, and I go, oh shit. Because I thought for a second that I'd left my keys on the other side of said closed door.
That would have been the worst because you can't get back in to get him, but you can't get in the car.
Yeah, I'd basically be, I can't do anything.
What do you do? What do you do?
Right, it's like if I could at least get in the car, well, you know, I could just drive to the train station, go to work, come back, come home. And by the time I get home, I'll just come home late, and I know someone will be here with a key. But
Well, you could just walk to the train station.
I guess, but it was too late, and it was cold.
Yeah, it is cold.
That wasn't going to happen. So luckily, I just left the keys in a different pocket, and I had them. But it was worrying for about 10 seconds.
It's one thing I always kind of be sure whenever I go outside from my house that I am prepared to deal with any situation that involves me not being able to get back in
I had
right
my
away.
phone. So
But who are you going to call? I'm at work. Emily and Alex are at work.
I could have called somebody.
Call the landlord, I guess.
Yeah, someone.
Like, I locked myself out.
The locksmith.
Huh. Now, the problem would be if you had left your wallet and keys inside, because then you can't even take the train. You can't prove to the locksmith who you are.
I could have looked on Google Maps or whatever and gotten a taxi cab to the train station.
How are you going to pay for that?
With my wallet.
What if you don't have your wallet?
Well, I
That's
did.
what I'm saying. What if you,
I'm talking about only keys missing.
what if you forget wallet and keys? Then you're fucked.
I'll have to pay him with cell phone.
What if you also forget cell phone? Because remember,
Then how would I couldn't pay the cab. I couldn't get the cab.
no wallet, you got no ID. Plus, now you got to worry about, what do I do before I freeze to death?
I would just find a friendly neighbor with a telephone.
Walk to, like, the car dealership. Be like, can I stand inside for
Go
a
to
while?
the gas station, pick up a quarter off the ground, use the payphone.
Quarter's not enough, and I don't think that payphone works.
I'm pretty sure payphones take quarters.
Well, the last time I
Call
used a payphone,
collect.
I used a payphone 2 years ago when I was in New York and my cell phone battery died, and I luckily somehow remembered the phone number that I had to call because I don't know anyone's phone
I
numbers.
don't remember phone numbers either.
So I tried to call this cell phone number, and then I discovered that it would have been, I think, 40 cents or 50 cents to make a local call. But because it was a cell phone, it wasn't actually a local call, so I was screwed anyway. So I had to use my credit card through the payphone to make a call.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I had to call, and then it was like, credit card number, and I had to type a credit card number in, and I paid like $5.
I would just push 0 and be like, fucking make it happen. Collect if possible.
Collect?
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, and before I had a cell phone that I could use all the time, because the family had 2 cell phones, so often I wasn't the one who got to have the cell phone. This is like high school.
Well, yeah, whenever I was like in middle school and high school on a field trip or something like that, I would always call home collect.
Oh,
I called home collect from like Israel. It was like, yeah, take that.
Either my parents would give me the cell phone, unless they gave it to my brother or they were using it, but we realized I didn't need it because I used to go to the community college to take classes, like after school. Like I'd go take chemistry and stoichiometry and jazz band and stuff. So when I needed a ride home whenever class ended, what I would do is call home, and they would be asked if they wanted a call from Pick Me Up.
And they say, no, I don't want to have a call.
And then they'd come pick me up.
Yep.
Except that one time I fell asleep in class. It was a night class too, so I'd go to high school, and I'd come home, and then at like 8 o'clock I'd go to this class, and it ended at like 10:30. I just fell asleep in class, and no one said anything.
So you were just sleeping in this classroom?
I woke up alone with the lights off in this classroom, and I didn't know what time it was, and I wasn't sure where I was for a few minutes.
Was this building closed?
Well, the building was open. There were classes until like midnight, but the hallways were all kind of dark, and for a while.
But how long would you have stayed in there without anyone doing anything?
I don't know. If I hadn't woken up, I woke up at like 11, so I dealt with it.
Yeah, what if you had not woken up until, say, like, the next day when it was time to go to school again?
Well, one, I would have just skipped school.
Well, obviously, but what, like, who would anyone, like a security guard have found you or what?
Maybe the janitor would have found me.
Maybe if there was a janitor that day. I mean,
Maybe I would
do
have
they clean the classrooms every day?
Maybe I would have gotten woken up by the 8 a.m. class the next day, and then I would have gone, oh, well, I'm a couple hours late for high school. Might as well not go.
Yeah.
I'll hang out here all day.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah, that was before I could drive legally, so I was still, I needed rides everywhere, and it sucked.
Yeah, those days. Those are not good days.
Yeah. It's weird to think that there was a time when I could not drive.
No, there was a time when I could. Well, I guess if I had been allowed to, I could have driven. But I probably could have driven as soon as I was tall enough to reach the pedals and also see.
Well, it's like at RIT when my car got repoed that one time, or when I was living here working at IBM and my car broke and it took them a week to fix it. Those times, I take cars for granted, and suddenly, the simplest of tasks were impossible. It was like, all right, I'm hungry. How do I get food? There is no way to get to the grocery store. I tried to call a cab, and they're like, the cab's not going to take me to the grocery store.
There are plenty of people I've seen take cabs to the grocery store.
Depends on where you live. No cab was going to drive me from that house on the top of the mountain down to town to the grocery store.
The house in the mountain.
Yeah, the mountain. No, when I lived in Poughkeepsie, I could walk 45 minutes and get to a grocery store.
You know what you should have done? You should have got an airport cab. They'll take you to the airport. Fly to JFK, right? Take the subway into the city and then get a hotel room.
Speaking of which, you realize it's only $50 to take a helicopter from Midtown to JFK?
Is it $50?
$50. I found also it's $45 to take it to LaGuardia.
Oh man, I'm so doing that.
Yeah, because one, it cost us what? It cost
Wait,
us
is that
almost
$50 per person, even if it's just one person?
Probably.
Or is there a number of people that you need for the trip?
I think it's per person. I did not look
Where
into
does the helicopter leave from?
34th Street.
Oh, I'm so doing that.
I know, seriously. It's not that much more money than the shuttle or the car service I'd take anyway.
Yeah, the shuttle's $20. The helicopter is no traffic.
Yeah, no
and
traffic.
you get a fun helicopter ride.
Yeah.
So why the fuck not?
I found out about this. Some guy at work's well, you know what I just found out? And the guy next to him's like, what? He's like, you can take a helicopter to JFK for $50 from Midtown.
Oh, shit.
And they had the same conversation we're having now.
The next time I have to go to JFK, helicopter.
For reals.
Oh, man.
All right, so it's Thursday. We're hanging loose.
I bet it's loud, though. You probably got to bring the headphones.
Yeah, helicopters are loud.
Well, I mean, I guess, it's a good question, though. It could be, right? It's probably one of those little glass bubble helicopters, like the traffic, right? But it could be a big two-rotor, military hospital helicopter.
They're not gonna send you in a Chinook.
No, they could because think about it. For $50, right? That thing can make the trip real quick, right? And think about how many people you can get in there, right? The little tiny helicopter, you get maybe 3 people in there with the luggage, right? The big one, you can get a bus worth of people in there, right? So $50 times a bus, that's pretty good money. It makes it worth it, So maybe it is a big-ass helicopter.
But
the kind that, people jump out of.
I imagine it would be loud, though, because I took a...
Yeah, it's loud.
When I flew down to Columbia near D.C. for that business trip, because of the time and when I flew, I ended up taking a prop plane both ways.
Oh, I guess this helicopter takes off from the top of a building, right?
I have no idea.
So I guess you had to go to the building and get to the top, and then where do you buy the ticket, and what's the schedule?
I don't know. I found I found out about this, and I was like, oh man, and I'm gonna the next time I fly, the first thing I'm gonna do.
And then where does it land at JFK? How do I get from the helicopter to the airplane?
Like I said, I didn't sort all this business out. All I can think is $50. That's probably worth it.
Yeah, probably.
Especially considering how long that bus took to get there.
Well, because I had to go and, it was in rush hour, right? Going down the Grand Central Parkway, the Queens Midtown Tunnel. It's, it's traffic there.
But anyway.
It's not smooth sailing.
It is Thursday, hanging loose, nice and relaxed here. We can do whatever we want. And I got to bring this up. It's kind of almost a Tuesday news, and we don't even really need to do news, but a while ago, it was a while ago, there was a story about some doll. And some crazy woman said that apparently the doll would periodically say Islam is the light.
What?
Yeah, and the news reported this like it was a big deal. It was all over the place. Secret messages in toys. Islam is the light. Do you hear it? I don't know. And I heard it, and it sounded like ga-ga-ga-ga-boo-ga.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like seeing Jesus in the bread, right?
Pareidolia.
If you just make enough random noises, someone's gonna hear, something in it. It's like playing records backwards. Someone's gonna hear Satan something, and sometimes someone will do it on purpose. And it's like looking at static on the TV screen. You're gonna see a face, because or you're gonna look at the clouds and you'll see a dragon. It's how it happens,
But anyway, that's not the story. That sort of thing happens all the time, and the fact that the media always kind of makes a big deal about it, especially the local news, the local interest.
I should call the news station the next time I see a cloud that looks like a penis or something. And then they'll put a news story like local pranksters make penis-shaped cloud.
But I saw this story where someone else apparently found that in some Nintendo game, it also says Islam is the light.
Was it did it actually say that in text?
No. So here, I looked into this a little bit. I did a small bit of investigative reporting. Fact number 1, it is in fact the same crazy lady. I verified this shit. Fact number 2, it's the same sound clip. Like, I listened to it, and I went to the old one. It is the exact same Babaguga. Like, it's identical. You listen to them, it is clearly both of these toys took the audio
Wait,
from
so a Nintendo game and a doll have the same exact audio clip in them?
Yes, well, fact number 3. You know what game it is?
Oh.
You know the Pets franchise? The dogs and cats.
Oh, you're
on the
DS
end?
games. I
Yeah,
thought you were
DS
talking
games.
about an NES game.
No, DS game. I just said Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
So, apparently, as far as I can tell, there is a knockoff of those. And there's a game called Baby Pals with an S, not a Z.
Whoa.
And that alone is one of the saddest things I've ever heard. But yes, this game and that doll they used the same stock baby going bagugaga that, according to one crazy lady, sounds like Islam is the light. Bagugaga Islam is the light. I don't know.
Nothing a baby says sounds like Islam is the light.
So this woman is crazy.
Obviously.
The reporters for this story are even crazier.
Not credulous.
Quote. This is a quote. This is verbatim from the video. Nintendo's representatives said that the game is manufactured by a third party, so they're not responsible for the content. But the game's packaging clearly states that the game is licensed by Nintendo. People don't understand how this works.
The reporters don't understand what licensed by Nintendo means.
Yes,
I thought you were saying Nintendo is stupid. I was like, wait a minute.
No. And quote the woman, "Not just my daughter's toys, but we have a son too. Now I feel like I have to listen to all his little toys to make sure they're not saying it."
What? First of all, right? Okay. Obviously, you're crazy,
no,
the toys are not saying it. But if they were,
so what?
So what?
I mean, because this is what bothers me. This article and the article from before beg the question. The question that is begged is that how come this is bad? Even if it said it, would it be better or worse if it said Jesus is awesome?
Yeah. All right. And even if it was saying it, right? Did these kids say, "Hey, mommy, my toy said Islam is the light"? No, the kids just hear gaga goo gaga. It's only the mom who hears it.
Actually, the mom says that the kid brought it to her attention. I think
it's because if he wasn't have that kid, if the kid wasn't raised by the crazy mom, the kid wouldn't have thought of that.
You look at the woman, she's almost crazy eyes. She's not quite, but she is like.
I bet she'd be indignant.
She is
if she was in a situation.
But she's very slight.
Uh-huh.
And it's not that often you find a very slight person who is also the ultra indignant. It is usually the big fat woman. But I don't know. All these facts that I discovered about this, I linked to an article that
Maybe
actually
she had the
has.
stomach surgery.
I don't know. I found this funny. But anyway, things of the day. Nice and quick. This is pretty cool. It is a XLR camera, not XLR.
SLR?
Yeah, I got microphones on the mind. But no, the important thing is that it is cut in half, and you can see the insides, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, knowing how it works will help you a little bit, but you know what? You still won't know how to use it.
Nah, actually, Emily is currently borrowing her mom's super fancy digital SLR, and it's pretty cool.
It is very cool. It's also not easy to use.
Yes, but once you learn, like your pictures look a lot better.
No kidding.
But I point out that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lenses inside. 10, 11, 12 lenses.
Well, usually, right, there's stuff on the inside, but then there's also, you screw a lens onto the front of it, right? So they just cut the camera in half, or do they also,
they also have a front bit attached.
Oh, okay. So there's a lens on the front. The lens is not actually the camera.
Well,
it's
the lens
the
on
lens.
there's the front 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lenses. Then there's a middle lens that moves, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more lenses, and then there's 3 more lenses.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's a thing of the day. It's cool.
Because, I mean, think about it, right? To do all that, right? I mean, you always need the moving lens, right? To sort of be able to adjust the focal length and whatnot, right? But think about how precise and perfect the one lens would have to be that would just do, like, the work of all the front 5, This is why the lenses cost thousands of dollars. And the cameras also cost hundreds of dollars.
Yep, at least we don't need any spider silk in there anymore.
We used to need spider silk.
For telescopes, mostly, actually. They used to use silk to make...
Well, a telescope is completely different.
To make the crosshairs or precision instruments or scientific cameras, too. If you had a crosshair or anything to aim precisely, they would use spider silk.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Clever girl.
They use it on, like, scopes on guns and things also?
I don't know. I'm not really an expert on this sort of thing.
All right. So I was going to use this on another day, but I got nothing. So check this site out. It's called Miffy's, I think. And what they did is they went and they found fonts from video games, and they made them. And that's pretty much it. So if you want to type in Double Dragon Ease or... I guess Gradius Ease or Donkey Kong, made of, metal I-beams font, then the site's got like a whole bunch of them. So if you're doing like a video game remix parody or something, these could be real useful. Or maybe you're making like a fan site or, anything along those lines.
So, okay. Over the weekend, we had the crew together and we played our Burning Wheel and we played... the little engine that could kill. We talked about that. We also did something good over the weekend as opposed to that bad game that we'll never talk about again.
Well, it was okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. We watched... Sorry for the edit there. Scott's illin', and he kind of blew his nose all over what I was saying.
I'm not illin'. I just had I am done. I'm done illing. I'm just expulsing.
But so Scott, who never gets sick except when he gets sick, is sick?
I was sick, and now I am just expelling snots.
So you're not sick. You're just expelling tons and tons of mucus.
Yeah, that it was from when I was sick, and now
that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, what we did that was good over this weekend was we finally watched Repo, the genetic opera.
Well, not finally. I mean, we weren't. It wasn't like a long period of time between the.
From the moment when I knew this existed until that time, it was too late. I had wanted to see it. I was excited about it.
I was interested, but I wasn't excited.
I love this sort of thing.
I'm okay with this sort of thing. It's good.
If you didn't see the forum thread or you live under a rock, Repo, the genetic opera, is the story of a horrible future where suddenly everyone has organ failure.
Yeah, basically what I'll summarize the plot, right? someone in,
Wait. Now, if we're going to summarize, we can summarize it much more succinctly than you were about to do. It is a future where organs can be repossessed, much like cars.
Yep, people buy organs, to prevent themselves from dying, but they also buy organs, because they, for vanity reasons. And they're very expensive. So rich people are just living it up, but poor people are buying them anyway. And then
so you buy you finance the secondhand liver, but then you fall behind on the payments. The repo man comes and cuts it out.
And then you just fall over and you have no liver and you're bleeding everywhere.
Yeah. And it's basically, it's not that gory. It's a lot less gory than you might think. But
the gore is really like cheesy movie gore.
There's not that much of it. It's primarily singing. Well, pseudo singing.
Yeah. Well, there's not that much compared to Ichi the Killer, but it's in there. There's a few scenes.
Yeah, I think my favorite one is the Repo Man is kind of singing to himself while he's repossessing from a guy. And toward the end of the song, as he's ripping the guts out, he kind of sticks his hand up the guy's abdomen and manipulates him like a puppet to sing close harmony. And it's just the way it's done is because he's doing it. Then he kind of looks at the thing and then he kind of realizes what he's doing and kind of pulls his hand out like, huh. Okay, enough of that. Back to work.
Yeah.
But it's an opera. It's an opera in almost the truest sense, but it's just about organs being repossessed. And Pete said it best. This is, if nothing else, over the top in every way that something can be over the top.
I think you could be more over the top, but it wouldn't be very easy.
Well, I think it's more that every individual aspect of Repo, the genetic opera, is over the top to a degree. It is the singing is just it gets to the point where the businessman semi-bad guy is in a limo with a girl and he's basically singing the plot at her in a scene where it almost looks like she's surprised that he is singing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's this is the plot. I am singing the plot to you. What? Yes, the plot. This is the plot. Here we go, the plot.
Sometimes it gets a little bit corny in the singing, because they'll be saying things you already know, but it's they just need something to sing and they need some words that both say something and, they have to sing them. So they'll just sort of sing for the sake of singing and just they'll be basically, it feels like the characters are sometimes it almost feels like they're making it up as they go along, just trying to get any word they can to fit in.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is that this is Repo. I recommend you all see it. If you're listening to Geeknights, you will glean some enjoyment from this. I guarantee
it's not going to be your favorite thing ever, I don't think. But it's not bad.
It's got a chance of being your favorite thing ever, too.
I guess, there are certain people for whom this will be their favorite thing ever.
Because it's kind of silly and kind of gory, and there are a few really, really good songs in here. Of course, I'll admit, while the set pieces, I guess, or while what's going on is kind of cheesy, it's an opera, not a musical. And a lot of the songs are not memorable. They're interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's usually when you have a musical, right? You get some show tunes, and the show tunes are memorable, and they are fucking stuck in your head.
That Seinfeld, George comes back, he's master of the house.
Exactly. That's a fucking song, right? This doesn't really have any song. I can't even.
For a lifelong shit.
The
Cunning little brain. Regular Voltaire thinks he's quite a lover, but there's not much of that. God, I think I remember. I think I remember all of Les Mis.
I don't remember all the words. I remember all the tune.
Really? I think I remember all the words to all the songs of Les Mis. As I go, yes, I do. I know them all.
I know much of the words.
I know the whole thing.
Not all of it. Anyway, right.
What?
The only song that I really remember from this thing.
Addicted to the Knife?
Yeah, is that one, because that's sort of they do that one a few times, it's sort of the recurring, what's it called? Well,
it's not a leitmotif because that is the theme of a character.
It's the
what? The what?
I forget. But they do it like, it's the one that they play when they come in, and then they do it for real somewhere in the middle, and then they sort of do it a little bit at the end.
I think part of it is just that song is
the overture, maybe? Is that what that is?
No, that's not the overture, Scott.
I don't know.
The overture is what they play, but the overture is what plays when the curtains are still closed at an opera.
Yeah.
You go in,
but
lights...
then usually, like, you know how, like, you'll, I don't know.
The overture is when you come in, the lights come on the curtains that are closed, and then if it's a Wagner opera, you've got about 4 hours of him masturbating all over you before the actual opera begins.
Uh-huh.
That is the overture.
But see, usually, like, there's like a theme in the overture, and then they sort of like, it's not attached to a character like a leitmotif is. It's just they sort of play it, throughout as like some sort of theme. I don't know.
A theme, maybe?
I guess. Is it just a theme?
A musical theme?
Perhaps.
A recurring theme of some kind?
Yes, I guess.
But anyway.
I was looking for a more fancy word than that.
That song is the musical song, I would say, because it'll be in your head, and every time someone says a phrase that fits lyrically or rhythmically into any part of that song, the whole song's going to come out. Yep. I mean, could you hand me that bottle? The little blue bottle? The little blue bottle? But otherwise, a lot of the songs are not memorable at all. They're really fun. And I want to point out...
Yeah, it's like there are some songs in there, and I remember there was a song there. It was sort of fun. It was maybe some of the lyrics were corny, but the song itself was... It seems like, what happens is... Like, here's a good example, right? Look at something like, Detroit Metal City, right? They basically, when they did the music in the Detroit Metal City anime, they took the lyrics from the manga, right? And then they made songs that sort of matched those lyrics. So the result is that the actual words they were saying were funny words that were written, right? But the music didn't always go with those words so well. So the result is that the music was slightly not so great.
A lot of it would be kind of like if Geeknights sounded like this all the time.
But in Repo, they did the opposite, right? Which is that they said, all right, let's make good music, all right? Here's the tune, they would come up with a song, and they'd be like, okay, somehow make the lyrics fit this song. And it's like,
But even then, I'll admit, I really enjoyed this, but the songs were not that good. They were more... Kate said they were set pieces. They were not songs.
Yeah, it's like...
The few songs there were like... There's a point, and I really enjoyed this, even though it had almost nothing to do with anything, but... It suddenly cuts to the girl singing the song 17.
Yep.
And like suddenly...
It had nothing to do with anything. But
suddenly, it's a music video, and like the stuffed animals in the background are like dancing, and skeletons dancing, and...
The skeleton was pretty good.
Jonah Jett makes a cameo.
It's not Jonah Jett, it's Joan
Jett. Anyway, she makes a cameo. Sarah Brightman and Paris Hilton, by the way, are also in this, along with a man named Ogre.
Really?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Sarah Brightman plays Blind Mag, which... is interesting if you...
Because she's basically playing Sarah Brightman, except blind.
A little, especially if you've heard her Dive album.
Yeah.
If you've never heard Sarah Brightman's Dive album, I suggest you seek it out.
If you want to.
Then I feel your seed raining down on me. Could this be my once in a lifetime?
Uh-huh.
I like Sarah Brightman. I've always been a fan.
You like any sort of diva-ish lady?
Yeah, I kind of do.
I
kind of do.
I mean, you like, Fifth Element. You like the Blue Lady.
Well, you know what? I do like opera. I also like musicals.
I like those too, but not all of them.
Scott, name an opera. Name one. Just name one off the top of your head. One opera.
Romeo and Juliet's an opera.
Yes, there technically is an opera, Romeo and Juliet. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did.
Can you name another opera?
What was that one that was playing at the thing that we wanted to see, but we didn't see?
The Magic Flute, The Marriage of Figaro.
The Barber of Seville?
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I like those two kinds of things, but this is not a musical. This is an opera. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for good music, or like, I would say that Dr. Horrible was better produced and had better music than this.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You probably should. It's really good. I really, really enjoyed it.
Isn't it horrible?
It's awesome.
I think it's horrible. In fact, I can guarantee that it's horrible.
Actually, I can't believe you haven't seen it. You really should see it. I think you would like it. It's up your alley. It's funny. It's just a short musical.
Yeah.
It's really short, too. You can watch the whole thing in like half hour.
I got stuff to do.
What stuff do you have to do? You spend like an hour and a half on Repo. You can't watch a 30-minute musical?
Yeah, I'm watching Captain Harlock.
Oh, so you're giving up on Hokuto no Ken?
Yeah, I gave up on Hokuto no Ken. a little repetitive, but a little bit.
I don't know. We all watched this. The Front Row crew watched this as a group, and it was enjoyed by all. No one said, I didn't like this, or that was not worth my time.
It's a good 6.5 or 7 out of 10, somewhere in there.
I would say it's
maybe 7.5.
Funnier than it is good. Like, it is entertaining. Yeah. It's interesting. It is unique.
Really, what it has is the style of it is awesome. It's like if someone just made a movie in that style that was just a normal movie. Actually, I sort of almost feel like if they would have just made, a movie about the Repo Man that was just a normal movie, not a musical or an opera, it would have been like 8 or 9 out of 10.
It would have had to be a comedy or a dark comedy primarily.
Oh, definitely. But I'm just saying,
had it been a musical, I think it also could have been good.
Oh yeah, that could have helped too.
And but at the same time, I really did like it for what it was, because what it was like, I don't know, the mediocrity of the production in many aspects, and the fact that the music was kind of bland, I don't know, kind of worked for what it was. It made it feel low budget.
Yeah, it's sort of a charming, like, it's like almost like
charming is the word.
It's like you're trying to make a cult classic on purpose. It's like, something like Rocky Horror you can't do that on purpose.
Yes, like they tried. Transylvania 69000, anyone? That movie's terrible.
Exactly, right? It's like you can't do that on purpose. It just happens. Cult classics happen, right? This is like someone's trying to make a cult classic, and they didn't succeed in making a cult classic. It's not, but they succeeded at something else, which wasn't, poop. But yeah, it was also not platinum.
Yeah, I don't know what else we have here.
It was perhaps silver.
We'll kind of cut this short because Scott's sniffling a little bit, and I'm kind of hungry, and it's a Thursday, but don't worry. Website's coming along. We're going to have a lot of stuff from the New York Comic Con, and yeah, that's it.
All right.
I don't know, kind of petering out here.
All right, whatever. Go to bed early. Good.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geeknights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via Odeo. Just click the link that says Send Me an Odeo on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.